Hello and welcome back. Today we're taking a look at one of America's most beloved actors. Harrison Ford is nothing short of a national treasure here if you ask me, but I do have some growing concerns with his recent movies and his upcoming schedule. Let's take a look at Ford in a press photo for the upcoming Blade Runner sequel. Now, Ryan Gosling in the car on the left looked pretty legit. That in the background looked like they could fit into Blade Runner's futuristic setting. But Harrison Ford, he looks like he just walked on the set that day with his regular clothes on. Does he have that kind of pull now in Hollywood? Maybe he's so famous and old now the studios just let him do whatever he wants at this point. Regardless of how he got there, these new pics do not look too promising. Let's look at one more.
What do you want? I want to ask you some questions.
This poster looks even worse. When you zoom out and see Ford in more of the Blade Runner world, his gray shirt getup looks even more out of place. But at least everything else looks good, I guess. And the trailer was pretty decent, so while these photos may be a little troubling, for all we know, the movie could be great, and I really hope it is. I'm a fan of the original. But there's a bigger problem here that needs to be addressed. We all know Hollywood sequels, reboots, and remakes have been getting pretty fucking ridiculous for a while now. But there's an even finer niche here that's getting even worse. Harrison Ford sequels are getting pretty fucking out of control. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the guy and he still does great work, but for Christ's sake, he's almost 75 years old. I think it may be time to take a break, dude. I feel like Harrison Ford owes someone money or something. Why else would he be still churning out all this crap? He should have more money than God by now. He must be in debt to the mafia. So we got Harrison Ford returning in this year's upcoming Blade Runner 2049. And of course, in 2015, the real 2015, not the movie 2049. Are you confused yet? Me too. In the year 2015, Ford reprised his role as Han Solo in Star Wars The Force Awakens, which turned out to be a pretty badass movie. I have a few gripes about it, but that's for another video. I'm not here to complain about Star Wars today. What's really worrying me is this recent announcement. A fifth Indiana Jones film has been announced for 2020. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Ford will be 78 years old by then, and no one wants to see an old, aging Indy trying to keep up with the Joneses. If you want proof that this is a bad idea, just look back to 2008's Indiana Jones movie, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That movie was a fucking mess. And that's actually where this whole wave of Harrison Ford sequels started. If you have any doubt that that movie was terrible, let me recap it real quick. We catch up with Indiana Jones in the 1950s in the middle of the Cold War, fighting the Soviets. And to be honest, Indiana Jones not fighting Nazis just feels a little wrong. And I mean real Nazis, not today's, oh, you're a Nazi if you don't agree with me. So to start things off in the movie, Indy survives an atomic blast by hiding in a refrigerator. Yeah, eventually Indy is joined by his newfound son, Mutt, great name by the way, played by Shia LaBeouf.
Get on, Chris!
And this was pre He Will Not Divide Us Shia. Believe it or not, Shia LaBeouf actually used to be a passable actor, but in Indiana Jones 4, he was pretty fucking bad. The whole movie was bad actually, so I don't know if we can blame him or Harrison Ford for it falling apart. So as the story carries on, Mutt goes swinging with monkeys in the trees like he's Tarzan, and Indy discovers that the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, well, spoiler warning, in the end, it's aliens. Yeah, that's right. Fucking aliens and flying saucers in an Indiana Jones movie. Need I say more?
Congratulations. You may kiss your bride.
So, while I still think there's hope for the new Blade Runner movie, I do not have any expectations for the new Indiana Jones movie. They're gonna need to really make up for that last one, to say the least. I personally have always agreed with the Red Letter Media take on the franchise. From what they said in their review a few years back, Indiana Jones is a movie that would actually be better as a reboot. Get a new, young, tough guy in there to play Indy. No one wants to see the old, decrepit Harrison Ford hobbling around trying to relive his golden years. Not for this kind of movie. Indiana Jones is supposed to be an action-adventure with some historical elements, just like the originals. Raiders of the Lost Ark is still the best one to date, and it still holds up over time perfectly, so if you're really wanting to get your Indiana Jones fix, I would start with that one. Now, before we go, I have a few more suggestions for Hollywood. Dear Jewish Hollywood writers, while I don't think these Harrison Ford sequels should keep getting made, I know you're gonna do it anyway, so here are my ideas for more shitty Harrison Ford sequels. The Fugitive Returns, What Lies Under Beneath, Air Force 2, 6 Days, 7 Knights and 20 years later, Cowboys and Aliens and Vampires. And my personal favorite, a TV spin-off series called Han Solo Gets Old, where Han and Chewie retire to Mos Eisley to run their own cantina. It's kind of like Star Wars meets Cheers. And I think a sitcom like this could really take off on CBS or even TBS. So those are my ideas, Hollywood. If you guys decide to make any of these sequels, I better get a royalty check. So those are my Harrison Ford sequel ideas, guys. What do you think? What Harrison Ford sequel are you dying to see? Will the new Blade Runner or Indiana Jones be any good? Comment below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. See y'all next time. One more thing before we go. I want to give you guys a special thanks to all my Patreon supporters. We had like 5 or 6 new people sign up over last night, so my Patreon shout out at the end of yesterday's video must have worked. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. And so you guys know, I'm going to be setting up the rewards very soon. We're going to have a Patreon only live stream at the end of the month, and I'm going to start crediting my top level supporters in the next video. Stay tuned, and thanks so much again, guys. You're keeping the show going, and I love you. Bye-bye.